One attack dragged the entire world into 20 years of war. Countries collapsed, terror groups multiplied, and millions of lives were changed forever. The Middle East was never the same again. Here are the 10 wars and conflicts that reshaped the region. After 9/11 sand, number 1 explains why the world is still so unstable today. Number 10. The war in Afghanistan begins. 2001. Just weeks after the Twin Towers fell, the United States invaded Afghanistan. The goal was simple: destroy Al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban government that protected Osama bin Laden. Within weeks, Taliban control completely collapsed, but the war didn't end there. In reality, it had only just started. Number 9. The Taliban insurgency returns. Even after losing power, Taliban fighters didn't just disappear. They regrouped in the mountains and along the border regions. Using guerrilla tactics, roadside bombs, and suicide attacks, they slowly began to regain their strength. Year after year, the attacks increased, and the war became endless. Number 8. The US invasion of Iraq, 2003. 2 years later, the focus shifted. The United States invaded Iraq, claiming that its leader, Saddam Hussein, possessed weapons of mass destruction. The capital, Baghdad, fell quickly. But removing Saddam from power created a massive power vacuum, leading to widespread chaos, civil conflict, and the rise of new extremist groups across the country. Number 7. The Iraqi Civil War and Insurgency. With no central authority, different armed groups began fighting each other for control. Cities like Baghdad and Fallujah became intense battlegrounds. Suicide bombings and brutal sectarian violence exploded. Iraq rapidly became one of the most dangerous places on earth. And from this chaos, something even worse was born. Number 6. The birth of ISIS. Out of the ashes of the Iraqi conflict, a new group emerged. ISIS, what started as a small extremist offshoot, quickly grew into one of the most brutal and feared terror organizations in modern history. They captured major cities, filmed their executions, and declared a global caliphate. The world watched in shock and horror. Number 5. The Syrian civil war fuels terror. The brutal war in neighboring Syria gave ISIS even more power and a new territory to exploit. Entire cities were reduced to rubble. Millions of people were forced to flee their homes, creating a massive refugee crisis. Foreign fighters from all over the globe flooded into the region, and terrorism began to spread across continents. Number 4. The global war against ISIS. By 2014, a global coalition of nations launched a massive campaign of airstrikes and military operations against ISIS. City by city, the territory controlled by the caliphate collapsed. But even after losing their land, the fighters didn't just vanish. They melted away, going underground to continue their fight. Number 3. The rise of ISIS affiliates worldwide. Soon, ISIS-inspired groups started appearing all over the globe, from Africa and Asia to the heart of the Middle East. Terror attacks spread far beyond the war zones of Iraq and Syria. The conflict was no longer limited to one region. The threat had become truly global. Number 2. The Taliban's return to power, 2021. After 20 long years of war, the United States and its allies finally withdrew their forces from Afghanistan. In a matter of weeks, the Taliban swept across the country and retook control. The very same group that was removed back in 2001 was once again in charge. 2 decades of war had ended almost exactly where it began. And number 1. One attack changed global warfare forever. The series of wars that followed 9/11s completely reshaped global politics. Trillions of dollars were spent. Millions of people were displaced. Entire regions were destabilized. And new, more decentralized terror groups simply replaced the old ones. The attack didn't just start. It fundamentally changed how wars are fought forever. But this raises a bigger question. Osama bin Laden was killed back in 2011, so why didn't terrorism end then? That's exactly what we'll reveal in our next episode. Make sure you subscribe for more unbelievable stories every week.